He's like, Dad, I broke my bat. I'm like, bullshit, we just got it, dude. And he wanted this other bat. And I'm like, no, dude, you're just trying to fucking tell me how to get a new bat. He's like, no, I'm telling you something wrong with my bat. I'm not hitting this far. I'm like, dude, you just crushed it. He's like, I'm telling you, I can hit farther. I'm like, dude, you're full of shit. Just keep using the bat. We like to have an argument. And then he keeps telling Dad, my bat's broken. I'm like, all right, dude. I'm like, just ignore him. I go to the cage night before his game. I'm hitting. I'm like, oh, this thing sounds weird. And I see his coach there too. I'm like, yo, coach, you know baseball. Is it? God, yeah, man. So I have to get a new bat the night before. All the kids are using. I expect more on this weekend with a new bat. It is what it is, dude. It is what it is. The bat thing is crazy. When I was a kid, there was no 26-inch, drop 10. Oh, I need a 30. I'm getting taller. I need a 31. You either choked up and hit whatever the fuck it was, or you choked down. There's one dope bat. It was just like Easton, I don't know if I remember. It was like black and gold. That thing was fire. I think it was called like Black Magic. That thing was dope. The kids these days, dude, bro, it's driving me nuts. And then, but it's a good weekend overall. It started off with me and Chin getting barbecue from my favorite spot, Style Switch Barbecue. There's a lot of history there, too. I looked at a lot of history. Oh, really? Would that be more? Oh, for the Patreon episode, you doing some voiceover, guys? No voiceover. Oh, come on, Daddy. Yeah, I took Chin in. We filmed it for the Patreon. If you guys want to see that, it drops later this week on patreon.com/TFATK. You get extended episodes, special bonus episodes. You get special content like that, my truck content, Q&A every month. We'll have a very special guest, the full interviews on there this month, and then me and Chin are doing this barbecue series on there. But I take Chin to my favorite spot, Styles and Switch. It's my absolute favorite barbecue spot in Texas, and Chin gets to try it out. Thank you for treating it. It was very good. They actually gave us a pit tour too, which is awesome. They did, yeah. All pit tours are the same though, yeah. Yeah, hot as shit. Just super hot as shit. It was fun though. But yeah, I kicked off with Chin on that. My good friends from LA came in. He had travel ball. Bossy had football and rec ball. And then Saturday night. Oh, and then the Dodgers kicked off. What's up, Dodgers? 2-0, baby. Well, 1-0. By the time this comes, well, they're playing tonight. They'll be 2-0. But yeah, they're crushing it. And MLB playoff baseball, nothing better. Yankees will play complete shit. Go Dodgers. But the weekend, it was a good weekend, even though I was very frustrated with that. You just kind of swallow it, shut up. But the weekend was awesome because of UFC 320. Oh my God, and here's the thing, moving to Texas, right, the fight came on here 2 hours later, so they finish around midnight here, and I get it for all these years, I used to hear all complaints. My Lord, do I sympathize with you now, my Lord. These things go on so late, so the card has to be up in fire to keep my attention, keep me up, because your boy goes to sleep around 9 p.m. during the week, so come midnight, dude, I'm a fucking grandpa. So the fights have to be lit. My Lord, did 320 deliver. If you ever have been one of those fans who are like, man, the UFC's just not as good, the product's not as good, 320 will shut you right up. 320 delivered in every fucking facet. Great card. The main card, if you like finishes, you had all finishes. Co-main event was not finished, but, you know, it was a pretty dominating performance from the champion Rob. But even the prelims were litty, dude. We'll start with that. Your boy Edmund Shabazi quietly putting a streak together there. He had so much potential. He's quietly doing it. He's fucking back doing it. Then Patchy Mix. Here's the thing with Patchy Mix. You know, I take heat for this stance. I don't give a flying fuck because it's facts. You're going to hear other analysts, other YouTubers, other experts, former fighters tell you that, again, I can't emphasize enough that there's talent outside the UFC And when they go on these runs, it's just as good as any UFC run, and they're fighting the same competition. They could be champions in the UFC, and they're lying to you. They're lying to you. So if you look at Patchy Mix, I like Patchy Mix. I love Tatiana Suarez. I love his girl. I love everything they do. He's a beast. But let me start with this. Before he got to the UFC, he was dominating over in Bellator, and he had a few fights. He didn't have a fight in PFL, but Bellator. He was their boy. He did, and before that, really good, solid fighter. It was a good weekend, even though I was very frustrated with my kiddos in the sports. But you don't tell them that. You just kind of swallow it and shut up. But the weekend was awesome because of UFC 320. Oh my God! And here's the thing: moving to Texas, right? The fight came on here 2 hours later, so they finish around midnight here. And I get it for these coast people. I can't imagine what you've been dealing with for all these years. I used to hear all the complaints. My Lord, do I sympathize. These things going so late. So the card has to be up in fire to keep my attention, keep me up. Because your boy goes to sleep around 9 p.m. during the week. So come midnight, dude, I'm a fucking grandpa. So the fights have to be lit. My Lord. 320 delivered. If you ever one of those fans who are like, man, the UFC's just not as good, the product's not as good, shut you right up. 320 delivered in every fucking facet. You had all finishes. Co-main event was not finished, but it was a pretty dominating performance from the champion Rob. But even the prelims were litty, dude. Even the prelims were litty. We'll start with that. Your boy Edmund Shabazian quietly putting a streak together there. He had so much potential. He's quietly doing it. He's fucking back doing it. And Patchy Mix. Here's the thing with Patchy Mix. I take heat for this stance. I don't give a flying fuck because it's facts. You're going to hear other analysts, other YouTubers, other experts, former fighters tell you that, again, I can't emphasize enough that there's talent outside the UFC, and when they go on these runs, it's just as good as any UFC run, and they're fighting the same competition. They can be champions in the UFC, and they're lying to you. They're lying to you. So if you look at Patchy Mix, I like Patchy Mix. I love Tatiana Suarez. I love his girl. I love everything they do. He's a beast. But let me start with this. Before he got to the UFC, he was dominating over in Bellator, and he had a few fights. He didn't have a fight in PFL, but he was dominating Bellator. He was their boy. He did well, and before that, really good, solid fighter. But still, he's fighting tough competition. Horigati, Magomedov, stud, Sergio Pettis stud, Magomedov again for the championship. He had a great run before he came to the UFC. Now, while he was on that run, you'll hear some of these experts tell you, man, this guy could fit right in the UFC, fight a top 5 guy. This is not true. This is not true. And this is clearly your case study. One of them, and I can give you more examples, it's just a different animal when you're not in the big show. No kid or no adult who has aspirations to fight professionally goes, I want to fight in Bellator. I want to fight in the PFL. I want to fight in fucking Ryzen. No one says that. All will fight in the UFC. Why is that? Because it's the big show. Everyone knows it. It's the NFL, mixed martial arts. It's the big leagues. So until you fight in the big leagues, in a Bellator, in a Ryzen, it's just not. And you'll say, well, Patchy Mix just looks different. Well, what changed? He's not that old. He's 32. His movement's not as good. What changed? In the UFC. He's in the UFC. He's lost 2 in a row. What about Pitbull? He's over. Okay. He wasn't a young chicken when he came over from Bellator. He still looked good then. What changed? UFC. With the right matchups. Is Mike Rampage ever going to be champion? If they gave him when Alex Pierre was younger, when he came to the UFC, he was younger. Fucking, we're talking 2 years ago. That's how fast track this dude's been. But if they gave him certain matchups, he could get there. But as soon as you bring a grappler, he's fine. Just same way as Bellator. He's a fun fighter. He's so talented. Is he the 1%? No. No, now it comes to UFC and mixed martial arts in that division. But he's an amazing fighter. Mike Rampage probably doing the best out of the bunch. I love Mike Rampage. Must see TV. Give him the right matchups. But these other guys, what happened? UFC happened. In a big show. But he fought for world championship belt. You think the guy has the same nerves and pressure as the starting quarterback in the NFL? Like most people are partying right now. You're Dodgers, all right? We're doing the damn thing at Village. You're gonna have some drinks with the boys. You're gonna watch UFC Fight Night this week. With the boys. You don't want to be hungover. You don't need all that. You want the perfect There are tolerance of the perfect alcohol alternatives with the effective amount of THC, CBD, and functional mushrooms to create all the traditional downsides of alcohol. No, these aren't like your typical edibles. Listen, we've all been there. It's the Wild West. You don't trust that. You feel each blend within 10 minutes. The effects will last about an hour and a half, similar to cocktail, all right? Smell enough, get loose. They'll ship across the United States, so head to the code SHOP, SHAUB, for a $5 credit and free shipping on your first order.
Consult with a physician before use if you are pregnant, nursing, have any known or suspected allergies or medical conditions, or are taking any medication. FDA has not evaluated these products for safety or efficacy. Products are intended for 21 and over.
Would you like to the card permission? Santos are damn good. That Atiba Gautier is a fucking problem. On the Daylight Contender Series, you saw the piece they did on him, and a problem, man. So much power, so much athletic ability. This dude is a fucking 23 too. That boy is a problem. And they're doing a judge not too soon, building them up. He's fucking tough, man. Yeah. He's undefeated in the UFC. Just keep giving him guys to get more experience. Like, it has so much potential. Ain't funny. And the main card was fucking tasty, super tasty. Joe Pipe. On paper, I thought Magomedov was going to give him a lot more problems. That first round, it looked like he was, and Joe was shooting in, and then he got reversed, and it looked like it was going to be a rough night for him. Like, what the fuck, Joe? Keep on outside, knock this dude out. And like Rogan alluded to, maybe he was just trying to engage in the grappling to wear him out. Not the second or third, but press conference, he was like, I was just, it's like mentally I wasn't there. Physically I was there, and it took me getting beat up off him. I've been there, dude. I bet you're just, for whatever reason, he said he was falling asleep in the locker room. Dude, I've been there. That's why I don't Garrett fight. That's why I don't Garrett fight. That's my Roy Nelson fight. I'm in the back. For whatever reason, we did all this camp. Physically, I'm good. I'm physically, everything's in tune. I'm in great shape. We got the game plan. It's not locked in. Just like, I don't know, in the back. I took an hour and a half nap before my no Garrett fight. You just, I don't know what it is. It's just one of those days. Joe Piper got lucky, not lucky, but he was fortunate enough where something woke him up and he came alive in that second round and just did what I thought he was going to do. Fucking just mollywop this dude. He looked great. Definitely a top 15 talent. Sky's the limit, especially when he stops just relying on that right hand because he has the power. He has times similar power where it lands and it changes the dynamics of guys' faces. It's a problem. So to Alex, but I don't champion. He just needs to hone that in where he's not headhunting all the time. And now, one day, bud, we're cooking. We're cooking. Joseph, poor Josh Emmett, man. If you watch him, he's still on out, just working. What's up, fam? It is Monday morning, October 6th, 9 a.m. on this beautiful Austin morning. It's getting a little chilly here in the mornings. I love it. I'm all for it. Halloween's my favorite time of the year. If you haven't checked out the new Ed Gaines show on Netflix, Jenners, you're really missing out. Or is it actual? No, it's a series. I think it's 3 or 4 part series at Gaines. It irks me. They keep calling him a serial killer. Not a serial killer. Only killed 2 people. Figure it out. It's not the definition of serial killer. Weird dude, no doubt. You know, he died in, I think, 1989 or 86. 84. 84. Died in a mental institution. The grandfather of gore. Jesus Christ. Yeah, see, dude was an American serial killer. No, he wasn't. Killed 2 and then dug up a bunch of bodies and made furniture out of them. Weird dude. Creepy dude, but wasn't a serial killer. Show's so good, dude. It's so good. Don't tell me how it ends. Even though I just told you guys. That's just history. Okay, dude. Full weekend baseball. Football. Tiger filled in on the AAA team. Tiger plays on the majors, and then when they don't have a tournament, they ask if team wants to play with the AAA team. More reps, the better. Team's a little half-ass this weekend. I'm going to lie to you guys. A little half-ass. I don't know. Just low energy, man. You know, there's nothing you can do. They're kids, right? They're just kids. Yeah, they're kids. Yeah, it happens. His buddy's in town, or was in town. Anthony and Luca in town from LA, so he was up late with them. I put me to bed early because they told me you have early morning games, and he was like, cool, I'm going to play grab us with my friend at midnight. And then you're tired of the second game. The kids are pitching 50, which is slow for you, and you don't knock it out the park, and I get frustrated. The kids, though. I'll tell you what's funny, and then I'll move on with the travel ball shit after this, I promise. Oh, travel ball dads, feel me on this one. My son, right? When I was a kid, it wasn't like this. The bats these days that kids use, my son uses a 30 drop 10 bat, so 30 inches, drop 10 barrel size, right? He uses a 30 drop 10. This year alone, he's got to do 3 bats. Minimum, the bats are $350. On the high end, about $500 with tax. You're looking about $550. They give you a year warranty. It's a certain amount of time, and the call manufacturer's a nightmare. I got him him this new bat. It is a soldier tank bat. And the thing that the travel ball kids like these days is the crazy, like, 80s, 90s colors, like pink, turquoise, yellow, like the crazy looking bats or whatever. I don't get it. But also, Easton or soldiers make them brown, so they look like wood, so they don't have the option, but whatever. So the kids like all these crazy fucking exotic colors. So he picks this soldier tank bat. We've had it less than a month, and he was at practice, and he's like, Dad, I broke my bat. I'm like, bullshit, we just got it, dude. And he wants this other bat, and I'm like, no, dude, you're just trying to fucking tell me how to get a new bat. He's like, no, I'll tell you something wrong with my bat. I'm not hitting this far. I'm like, dude, you just crushed it. He's like, tell you I can get farther. I'm like, dude, you're full of shit. Just keep using the bat. We don't get an argument. And then he keeps telling me, yeah, my bat's broken. I'm like, all right, dude. I'm like, just ignoring him. I go to the cages Friday night before his game on Saturday, and he's hitting. I'm like, oh, this thing sounds weird. And I see his coach there, too. I'm like, yo, coach, you know baseball. Is this bat broke? Did he break this week? It's been 3 weeks. The coach takes it and goes, oh, my God. Yeah, man. So I have to get a new bat the night before. The night before, they got the Easton Dub. All the kids are using. I can expect more of this weekend with a new bat. It is what it is, dude. It is what it is. The bat thing is crazy. When I was a kid, there was no 26-inch drop 10. Oh, I need a 30. Oh, I'm getting taller. I need a 31. You know, either and hit whatever the fuck it was, or you choke down. There's one dope bat. It was this like Easton's one, if I remember, it was like black and gold. That thing was fire. I think it was called like Black Magic. That thing was dope. The kids these days, dude, bro, it's driving me nuts. And then, but it's a good weekend overall. It started off with me and Chin getting barbecue from my favorite spot, Style Switch Barbecue. There's a lot of history there, too. I looked at a lot of history. Oh, really? With W. Morton? Oh, for the Patreon episode, you doing some voiceover, guys? No voiceover. Oh, come on, Daddy. I took Chin in and we filmed it for the Patreon. If you guys want to see that, it drops later this week on patreon.com/TFATK. You get extended episodes, special bonus episodes, you get special content like that, my truck content, Q&A every month. We'll have a very special guest, the full interviews on there this month, and then me and Chin are doing this barbecue series on there. But I take Chin to my favorite spot, Styles and Switch. It's my absolute favorite barbecue spot in Texas, and Chin gets to try it out. Thank you for treating us. They actually gave us a pit tour too, which is awesome. They did, yeah. All pit tours the same though, yeah. Yeah, it's just hot as shit. Just super hot as shit. It was fun. So yeah, I kicked off with Chin on that. Came in. He had travel ball. Plus he had football and rec ball. And then Saturday night. Oh, and then the Dodgers kicked off. What's up, Dodgers? 2-0, baby. Hell, 1-0. By the time this comes, well, they're playing tonight. They'll be 2-0. But yeah, they're crushing it. Nothing better, dude, than MLB playoff baseball. Nothing better. Yankees have played complete shit. No Dodgers. But, the weekend, it was a good weekend. Even though I was very frustrated with my kiddos in the sports, but you don't tell them that. You just get them to swallow it and shut up. But the weekend was awesome because of UFC 320. Oh my God! Here's the thing: moving to Texas, I had the fight come on here 2 hours later, so they finished around midnight here. And I get it for these Coast people. I can't imagine what you've been dealing with for all these years. I used to hear all the complaints. My Lord, do I sympathize with you now? My Lord. These things go on so late. So the card has to be fucking fire to keep my attention, to keep me up. Your boy was asleep around 9 p.m. during the week. So come midnight, and dude, I'm a fucking grandpa. So the fights have to be lit. My Lord, did 320 deliver. If you ever have been one of those fans who are like, man, the UFC's just not as good, the product's not as good, 320 will shut you right up. 320 delivered in every fucking facet. Great card. The main card, if you like finishes, you had all finishes. Co-main event. It was unfinished, but, you know, but even the prelims were litty, dude. Even the prelims were litty, and we'll start with that. Your boy Edmund Shabazzi quietly putting a streak together there. He had so much potential showing it. And Patchy Mix. Here's the thing with Patchy Mix. I take heat for this stance. I don't give a flying. YouTubers, other experts, former fighters tell you that, again, I can't emphasize enough that there's talent outside the UFC.
Hey, this Jim, BB and I was driving around in a car, and we played Candyland with some kid, and he was really nice. That was my BB story.
But let me start with this. Before he got to the UFC, he was dominating over in Bellator, and he had a few fights. He didn't have a fight in PFL, but he was dominating Bellator. He was their boy. He did well in, before that. Really good, solid fighter. Not in the UFC, but still, he's fighting tough competition. Horigati, Magomedov, stud, Sergio Pettis stud, Magomedov again for the championship. He had a great run before he came to the UFC. Now, while he was on that run, you'll hear some of these experts tell you, man, this guy could fit right in the UFC, fight a top 5 guy. This is not true. And this is clearly your case study here. One of them, and I can give you a bunch more examples. It's just a different animal when you're not in the big show. No kid or no adult who has aspiration professionally goes, I want to fight in Bellator. I want to fight in fucking Rising. No one says that. Fight in the UFC. Why is that? Because the big show, everyone knows it. It's the end of mixed martial arts. It's the big leagues. Fighting the big leagues, anything you've done, even though you're fighting tough guys, it's just different. The pressure, the caliber of fighters, from 1 through 50 are all monsters. Now, even though you're fighting at a high competition level in a Bellator, in a Rising, it's not the UFC. It's just not. And you'll say, well, Patchy Mix just looks different. Well, what changed? He's not that old. He's 32. His movement's not as good. What changed? In the UFC. He's in the UFC. He's lost 2 in a row. What about Pitbull? He's older. Okay. He was in a young chicken when he came up from Bellator. He still looked good there. What changed? UFC. Michael Van Page doing pretty good. He is, with the right matchups. Is Michael Van Page ever going to be champion? If they gave him when Alex Biar was younger, when he came to the UFC, he was younger. We're talking 2 years ago. That's how fast track this dude's been. But if they gave him certain matchups, he could get there. But as soon as you bring a grappler, he's fighting. Just same way as Bellator. He's a fun fighter. He's so talented. Is he the 1%? No. Not when it comes to UFC mixed martial arts in that division. But he's an amazing fighter. Michael Van Page probably doing the best out of the bunch. I love Michael Van Page. Must see TV. Give him the right matchups. He's already a superstar. All right, we're like, yeah, what happened? UFC has it. In the big show. Well, but he fought for a world championship in Bellator. It's Bellator. You think the guy playing starting quarterback in the CFL championship has the same nerves and pressure as the starting quarterback in the NFL Super Bowl? Close. And the level of difficulty to get to the moment these guys are. So you're seeing them struggle. Man, what happened? UFC. It is what it is. So it is. I don't think they should cut Patchy Mitch. I'm going to do that to the guy. And then give him one more. See how it goes. Let's take a little break here, because if you're looking for the perfect buzz without the hangover, like most people are partying right now, you're Dodgers, all right? We're doing the damn thing against Phillies. You're going to have some drinks with the boys. You're going to watch UFC Fight Night this weekend with the boys. You don't want to be hungover. You don't need all that. You want the perfect buzz without the hangover. Well, let me tell you about Breeze, spelled B-R-E-Z. Incredible functional beverage company revolutionizing how we drink. Their line of feel-good tonics are the perfect alcohol alternatives with the effect you actually feel. They use a small amount of THC and CBD and functional mushrooms to create all the fun effects without the traditional downsides of alcohol. No, these aren't like your typical edibles. Listen, we've all been there. It's the Wild West. You don't trust that. You feel each blend within 10 minutes. The effects will last about an hour and a half, similar to cocktail, right? Smell enough for your moms, but stackable if you're trying to turn it up. Get loose. They ship across the United States, so head to feelthebreeze.com/shop, SHAB. Use the code SHOP, SHAB, for a $5 credit and free shipping on your first order.
Consult with a physician before use if you are pregnant, nursing, have any known or suspected allergies or medical conditions, or are taking any medication. FDA has not evaluated these. FDA has not evaluated these products for safety or efficacy. Products are intended for 21 and over.
Do you like the card from Richard? Santos are damn good. That Atiba Gautier is a fucking problem, man. You saw him on Daylight Contender Series. If you saw the piece they did on him in Africa, this dude is a fucking problem, man. So much power, so much athletic ability. This dude is a fucking gem. He's only 23, too. That boy is a problem. He'd be tough to beat, man. And they're doing it just right. Not too much, not too soon. Building them up. He's fucking tough, man.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, he's undefeated in the UFC. Just keep giving guys to get more experience. Like, it has so much potential right in front of you. The main card was fucking tasty. Super tasty. Joe Pife. On paper, I thought Magomedov was going to give him a lot more problems. That first round, it looked like he was. And Joe was shooting in, and then he got reversed, and it looked like it was going to be a rough night for him. Like, what the fuck, Joe? Keep on outside, man. It's like, knock this dude out. And like Rogan alluded to, maybe he was just trying to engage in the grappling to wear him out and knock him out the second or third. But in his post-fight press conference, he was like, I was just out of it. He's like, mentally, I wasn't there. Physically, I was there. And it took me getting beat up in the first round to finally shake it off. And I've been there, dude. I've been here just for whatever reason. He said he was falling asleep in the locker room. Dude, I've been there. That's my Nogueira fight. That's my Roy Nelson fight. I'm in the back. For whatever reason, we did all this camp. Physically, I'm good. Physically, everything's in tune. I'm in great shape. We got the game plan, but mentally, you're just not locked in. You're just like, I don't know, man. Fall asleep in the back. I took an hour and a half nap before my Nogueira fight. Right? You just, I don't know what it is. It's just one of those days. Joe Piper got lucky, not lucky, but he was fortunate enough where something woke him up alive in that second round and just thought he was going to do and fucking just mollywop the dude. He looked great. Definitely top 15 talent. Sky's the limit. Especially when he stops headhunting. Especially when he stops just relying on that right hand because he has the power. He has Alex. But Alex had a lot more tools, right? Glory, world champ. And then you hear him say, I'm taking all this time off. I've been working on my power, What? that was a red flag. Because, like, well, no. You're not world power. It's a skill issue and a game plan issue. Probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful guy in the featherweight division. Especially when you land, you should be working on other stuff. And then you do all that work. You have TJ Dillashaw on your court. Nobody's better conditioned than TJ, and you're working your ass off. And then you go in there and you get all he wants. That Yusuf kid just fucking ran him through the fucking rings, man. Here's my question for you. Championship caliber, is he ever going to be champion? Probably not. Fair to say that. We're a little back and forth there because with Alex, with Poatan, he's going to leave the light heavyweight division. There's nothing really left for him there. The trilogy with Ankle, fuck off. That's never. You don't get mollywopped like that in a championship fight. And then we know in the first fight, this is more evident than ever, that he was compromised. And it went to decision, even that was insane. But there's no trilogy. Nobody wanted this, to be honest with you. No one was really like, but it's just unfinished business. He kind of doubted before he jumped to heavyweight, like, there's unfinished business. You were hurt. Okay, get that weight and then we'll jump. That's what he's doing, right? So Alex is going to leave the division. Guaranteed. Alex is going to leave the division. He's not going to stick around for these other cats. There's nothing left for him to do there. The big moneymaker fights, the big money ball fights are in the heavyweight division now for him. He's going to go do that, especially at his age. That's happening. So that opens up the door for guys like Yuri, Khalil Roundtree. This opens up the door significantly for a guy like Khalil Roundtree, who won 2 out of 3 rounds against Yuri, won some rounds against Alex, but he's not going to beat Alex, you know? But now Alex leaves, it opens the door for these guys. So it's not fair to say, oh, Khalil's not championship material, because now it's kind of wide open. You know, if he made a few adjustments, obviously, you know, that third round, he was winning the fight till then. He's definitely up 2-0, and he gets, you know, clocked. I played that game with Yuri. But these guys are lucky Alex is leaving the division because we all love Yuri. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Yuri. He's fucking awesome. He's must-see TV. He finishes most fights unless he's fighting certain guys. He's just must-see TV, samurai culture, all that shit. It's all great. But I didn't fight against Cleo and go, oh, he's ready for Alex. Fuck no. But the difference between that is Alex lands those shots, it's fucking over. As we saw when they fought, it's fucking over. So his defense, while it's improved, he still gets hit. But luckily for Yuri, for Khalil, for these other cats coming up, Alex is going to leave the division, so it leaves it wide open. Leaves it feel bad for Khalil. Marab, of course, you guys know who I was going for. Of course, my boy. So we know after party at Castaneda, unfortunately. Castaneda for closers, okay? Love cool rounds. You give him the first round for sure, maybe the fourth, but most judges won't give him the first. 49-45 across the board. 49-46. So that's fair. That's fair. Marab's just so fucking good. So good. Is he the best bandweight of all time, Chip? Right now, of course, but right now he's champ, dog. I know, all time. The only other one would be Dominic Cruz. And if you look at the strength of schedule, Dominic Cruz's strength of schedule is tasty. My only argument why I'd still have Dominic Cruz over him is because Dominic Cruz, although he wrestling background, he didn't rely on just grappling. And Marab mixes it up now, for sure, but especially in a lot of his earlier fights, it was just wrestling, so your chance of getting finished, your chance of getting knocked out is way less. Where Dominic Cruz would mix it up, so the guys had the capabilities to land stuff, where Marab, there's not a ton of room to land anything because he's just so overwhelming. So I would say the way Dominic Cruz did it, and also the legends that he beat, which all in hindsight, but Uriah Faber, DJ, Benavide, there's a lot to look at with him there. This is him there. That's Dom. Yeah, you look at Dom's run. Go down for me. Look at Dom's run. Ian Lopez, TJ Dillashaw, Uriah Faber.
Yeah, this is when they were all like super
in the prime. Yeah, in the prime. In your prime. Yeah, it's an impressive fucking list, man. It's gonna be hard to beat out Dom, but Merab is just so fucking overwhelming, man. Because you look at him, I mean, his is pretty fucking tasty. Well, Mariah's, Jose Aldo, not the best fight on Henry Cejudo. So, Jose, Peter, Henry, Sugar, Umar, Corey Sanhagen. It's impressive, but I still give Dom the nod there. You're talking legends, dude. Legends.
Did you find Merab style exciting?
Yeah, the fight was exciting. Yeah, and Rob, he'll take some flack for kind of coasting a little bit here and there and get in position holding it. Here, he was going for broke. He's trying to break.
Definitely distracting out.
Yeah, he looked a lot better in this fight. I don't know how anybody's going to beat him. I just don't see it. I thought Corey had the best chance, like I told you guys last week with some of those aces in his back pocket. There was just no opportunity. There was nothing there. He's so fucking good. He's so good. And then he wants to fight in December. His fourth title defense in a calendar year. They should absolutely do it. That's why he went for the champs. But who's he fight? Now, if he's come from the old school, those guys, that's the difference with him and Dom. Back in the day, there wasn't a lot of guys that would jump weight classes. They would stay and just get these title defenses, and build it up. For Merab, and again, it's not my doing. This is just what I think. It's the formula the UFC uses now to get major eyeballs. They do super fights. It's just what it is. Alex, from the heavyweight, you're going to get that. Obviously, Islam Makhachev going to welterweight. Billy Tapir talking about going up, right? That's because those are the big money grabs and those are the big fights everyone wants to watch. For Merab, there's not a lot left for him. Sonya Dong, nobody's watching that. And he beats the brakes up. Figueiredo's knees in fucking shambles. He beat Corey. He beat Peter already. He beat Umar. He beat Sugar. There's not, if anyone's put up the division, it's that guy. So what do you do? Yeah, he does. Volkanovski wants Leon Murphy. Again, if you're in the UFC, you're signed this huge deal with Paramount. So that first Paramount cards, they say is going to be one of the best cards ever. And then you have the White House card. What would draw more eyeballs than a Merab Volkanovski fight? Because Pantoja, Merab, that's a phenomenal fight. The hardcore is like, dude, take my fucking money. I'm just talking about for Paramount. Remember, assume 80% of the audience doesn't know who the fuck Pantoja is. They'll know Volkanovski. They might know Merab, but they definitely know Volkanovski. So if I'm the UFC, whether it's that first Paramount card or it's the White House card, I'm doing Merab Volkanovski. That's what's next for Merab. There's not a ton there for him. There's just not a lot there. He's beating all the main contenders. He's one of those guys that could leave and then come back to, So Rob Volkanovski is the fight I would come to really knock people's socks off. You're talking about putting the best fight card on ever, that would do it. Now he beats Volkanovski. It's going to be tough to argue that he's not the best ever. Who would you have in that fight?
I was going to ask you the same question. Because Volk's a little older, a lot of damage.
He looked good though. His last fight looked fucking good, man. I remember some of the knockdown Volkanovski. Remember, he was pound for pound like 1 or 2, and they took the Islam fight on short notice, got knocked out, took another fight. It's just bad management. But obviously, he has all the money in the world. He has like a fucking 9,000 acres in Australia now, so it's worth it. But it's similar with Poetan. Like the fans are so quick to write him off, like, oh, it was a good run, that guy's done. And then bam, and they come back. It's MMA, it's not boxing, dude. Like, it's okay if you lose one, especially if you're compromised or stuff like that. The issue is the audience stopped believing when these fighters go, I was actually hurt, man. Okay, that's why he lost. Okay, Poetan, he really didn't even tell us. He got lead, his hand was broke, he had a foot issue, and all that, like, bullshit. And they see this, like, oh my god, yeah, he's super compromised. He fucking dog walked that cat. That's very fast. So for Volkanovski, same thing. Everyone's quick to jump off the hype. Volkanovski, too good of a resume to just say, that guy's done.
What, damn it, Lopez. That's a damn good fight.
Yeah, and he had less, dude.
Yeah,
but you're talking, he loses to Islam in that decision where he came up. I thought he won, and then he beats Yair, like, holy shit. And then he quickly comes back, fights Islam, gets knocked out. And then shortly after that, you're talking late October, so November, December, January. And 3 months later, fights Ilya, the hardest hitter, gets knocked out. Like, oh, he's done. And then obviously gets to Diego Lopez and does work.
I'm trying to remember the first fight with Islam. I think I thought it was won.
Yeah,
I think I thought he won.
but again, he has to know if you rewatch it, it's like, oh, it's the David versus Goliath type of thing where you're cheering for the little guy.
Yeah, that too.
And you're a little biased, but he fucking put on a good performance. That's the fight, though. Rob Volkanovski. So, a little break here, because when I started this podcast, the Shop Show Finder Kid, it seemed like I had to figure that all out on my own, because Cal didn't do shit. The scripts, the setup, the filming schedule, the logos, we're doing merch, it was all super overwhelming. Every day seemed to introduce a new decision that needed an answer. Sometimes your boy didn't have it. When you're starting off with something new, it seems like your to-do list keeps on growing every day. New tasks that can easily begin to overrun your life. Finding the right tool that not only helps you out but simplifies everything can be such a game changer for millions of businesses, podcasts, merch stores. That tool is Shopify. Cha-ching! Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world. And 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel, Gymshark to Drive Fast All Gas brand just getting started, we all use Shopify. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email, social media campaigns whenever your customers are scrolling or strolling. Best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping. We got you. If you're ready to sell, you're ready. Sign up with your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/shop. All lowercase, S-C-H-A-U-B. Go to shopify.com/shop, all lowercase, S-C-H-A-U-B. With Alex and then Goliath, God. Boy, is the UFC brass biggest star, hands down, not even close. If we were to lose to who's unmarketable, just no one here gives a fuck about him. And people are like, dude, you're thinking about only the States. Correct. Maybe elsewhere he's marketable. Here, it's just not happening. It's not happening. Alex, it's happening. UFC needed him to win so bad that you'll never see a trilogy. All those, the Daggies or wherever the fuck, if you're an Incline fan, you're like, well, it's 1-1 now. Well, the first one went to decision. Alex was compromised. Look what he did. You don't get a trilogy fight when you get fucking mollywopped. I mean, this was even a competition. The last time, I'm trying to think of a championship fight, you saw a guy just get absolutely outclassed. John Jones, Cyril Gane. We're like, oh, I never want to see that shit again. That's what this is. Like, oh my god, that was a fucking annihilation. This ain't not in the same fucking ballpark. Yeah, but Clive won the first one. Okay, kind of.
And we obviously can't show this, but this just goes to your point that they want Alex to be their guy. So they actually released UFC released the full fight for the pay-per-view.
Oh yeah,
You know they do that once in a while, but once they want
that means not many people bought this pay-per-view.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, because that means they can tell how it's tracking, how it's doing. This card really got no hype. Didn't get the hype it deserved. You know, like, so no one's really following. Few of the hardcores, casuals things. Brian's dumbass. He's in the middle. I got buddies like my neighbors who are you. Those 12 to 6 blows to the fucking head and liver.
I was gonna ask you that. Like, it didn't seem like Oglev even tried to return. He just stayed there.
Boy, he's fucked up. He's out of. Sorry, what? Those 12 to 6 elbows. He was like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, man, it's this Saturday. A lot of people did. And then I got buddies like my neighbors who are UFC fans.
Sorry. What?
Those 12 to 6 elbows to the fucking head and liver.
I was gonna ask you that. Like, it didn't seem like Oglev even tried to turn. He just stayed there.
Well, he's fucked up. He's out of it. He got rocked. Through the pressure, Putin got him to switch his stance. So you're and Donald Cruz talks about this all the time. Your defense, while you might be good in southpaw or traditional, your defense on the other side when you use it just a little hair off. It's force him to switch stance and then fucking lights him up. Yeah, it's brilliant. My God, did the UFC need this? I'll tell you what, all credit goes to Mark Zuckerberg because he visited him in his locker room. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing, bud? Did you create fucking? Because you stole Facebook from this dude twins? You think you deserve to walk into Poton's fucking locker room? Get the fuck out of there. What are you doing? You want to fight?
You seem to know. Come on,
fuck that guy. He's off. You should wear a white tee and a chain. You start rolling around with people. Get the fuck out of here. That's the market, and he's going for people like he's actually a bro. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'm done with all this. He's done with it. He's going to heavyweight. He'll be on the Paramount card or the White House card. I think he's on the White House card. Here's where it gets tricky. And obviously UFC, they have some time before these cards, but you have Cyril Gane soon, what, like 2 weeks?
21st or something?
Yeah, so 2 weeks. If in some weird world, Cyril Gane Alex, which is a great fight for Alex. The thing I get held up on is Tom. There couldn't be a worse matchup for Poatan than Tom. There couldn't be a worse matchup with his grappling capabilities. It's just a bit of a nightmare. If you're a Poatan fan, this is insane that's coming out of my mouth. You like his chances better against John. The GOAT. You like his chances. He's older, hasn't been as, Tom's in his prime. And he can grapple his ass off. He's fucking, John's big, but John was naturally a 205. You like, if you're a Poatan fan, you want to see him do the unthinkable, the unimaginable. You want him to fight John. The UFC knows this. If my dumb ass to tell you this, trust me, the UFC knows this. Do what's good for the UFC, not what's good for Tom. So I could see it's almost going to force the hand where you can't just leapfrog Tom and put John versus Peloton. It's going to force the UFC to do Tom versus Peloton. And Peloton just has this thing. You can't count him out. You can't count him out. We don't. Again, it's not boxing. Okay. So you shot for the moon. All good. But if this is like a decision, if he were to lose it, for sure he's not fighting Peloton. But if it's a decision, if it's back and forth, if he doesn't look impressive, Peloton's going to leapfrog Tom. Even if he wins, but if it's not impressive, he's going to leapfrog him and do John versus Peloton at the White House. I'm almost guaranteed. Aspinall's, the pressure's on Aspinall, not Khan. All the pressure's on Tom to look better. That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Yeah. That's what he has to do. That's the pressure he's under. Because it's not even like, oh, can he beat Khan? It's like, no, hold on. You got him in order to get that fight at the White House. It ain't right. I'm not saying I'm just, it's the culture of the game we're in. What else you got, Jim?
Yeah, and just for correction, that's the Khan Aspinall fight is UFC 321. That's going to be October 25th. And guess what? 1 p.m. Central.
Ooh, I like
that's the actual title fight, too. 1 p.m.
Oh, the chances of Tiger having a game during this.
You have to just turn off your phone.
Let me see the rest of that card.
It's just a SIM card.
Mackenzie Dern. God, the only person the UFC wants to win more than Peloton is Mackenzie Dern. We need stars. Listen, I love Arena. She's great.
Well, I said sick, but it's not as sick as I think.
Mackenzie Dern will fight. Okay. It's a good ass card. Especially this one. Is this a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
This dream I had with BB, my mom was there for some of it, and BB was driving in his car in the store, and he's like, he went and got like a apple, and the interior of the car had white interior with the Magen David at the head. That's all I remember about that motherfucker. We drove around. Oh, and then also, like, what was it? I think I told him he needed to stop smoking.
He was such a good dude.
Everyone says he has like the infectious
And somebody from England had been there previously. You smoke as much as this motherfucker does some, but I don't remember what it was. Anyway, worst story ever.
Arthur was probably the biggest freak. The biggest, I mean, Hatchet was a fucking freak. His talent, Arthur was fucking big, dude, big. And if he would have decided freak, gave everybody Jackson's, gave everybody problems. Zero training, gave everybody fucking problems.
That's a bummer, man. And I didn't realize living with an implanted.
Oh wow! So you had to like three doctors that emergency call.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Pre-existing heart condition. Wow, it's terrible.
So I'm like, did he play with the? No, he didn't. It was after, he finished the sport and then.
Yeah, poor John, man. That's tough.
Yeah, like especially with John, like he's of all people that can get messed up and go down that path again, that horrible path. This big bro, yeah, it's like that's your hero. Terrible. Super.
Yeah, my favorite part Oh my god, so get like it was just like whoa, easy on the yayo. Dude, so great. All the comments too, like, dude, he wants to get so bad. It's like, yeah, it's high up his ass. Yeah, and then so I love it. Dana at the press conference. I love Dana's post-fight press conferences. He's so annoyed with people. But the guy goes, Connor said he's negotiating with the White House. Yeah. The fight's done. And Dana's like, is that so? Yeah, definitely not negotiating. That doesn't make sense. Definitely not negotiating with the White House. And we're not going to start playing on card in February. But I like his enthusiasm. Let me go ahead and before that. About negotiating any fights for the White House yet. That won't even start till February. And then finally, I made it clear Connor wants to fight on that card, and you can clearly see Connor is very fired up to fight on that card, but nothing is done yet. And no fights are being negotiated with the White House. Also take this with a grain of salt as well. Like Trump, Dana, Connor, yeah, you have some powerful people, three powerful people that in June on a Sunday, maybe. But also it might be the only time they can do it. You know, the White House, they might have shit going on, so maybe it's on a Sunday, but that'd be weird. But yeah, it's kind of weird, but it'd be fucking special. Hell yeah, that'd be great. It'd be different. But Connor, Trump, take all the... It's hilarious. Yeah. And we did kind of mention this, and did say he wants to go to heavyweight, and he was going to have this huge spot thing ready to go after Goliath, but then John's brother passed away, so instead of doing that as we do, he gave shout-outs to Arthur Jones and it's a professional. So likable, this guy. Let's take a little break here, kids, because this episode of the Shop Show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial genius, Montana. Things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and so much more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it. So your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive, see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Insurance Company affiliates Fear is free on TV with horror movie collections from Paranormal Activity, The Ring, Die in 7 Days, Scream, and From Dusk Till Dawn. This is my kind of place. And don't miss the man-made nightmares in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, where the world-ending chaos in 28 days later. Something in the blood. All the scares, all for free.
Foot, I guess his foot got hit because his foot's broken. And I also saw a few kicks against Alcalá. I'll just play the clip. I know he doesn't make this. This is more about him saying he's not going to fight John, or he's waiting to fight John because he's respecting.
When did he do this interview?
It's like right after
The fights, it's what else he wants to do. But if it was up to him, what does he think is the most exciting and the most probable matchup next? His business. Because of the White House, John Jones, I have goosebumps. That's the biggest fight. Damn, his foot's in a fucking thing. But I'm saying that way. Quando esse deveria estar falando, mas da mesma forma, eu acho que também tem uma liberdade de falar, porque eu sei por isso, né? Então, da mesma forma, até ele tá se motivando. He's been through? Eu acho que ele e o Jones, pô, tiveram muitas coisas. Mas, pô, se eu por exemplo, pô, ele vai ser o melhor de todos os tempos pra mim.
Isso with his brother passed away. Yeah, so that's. He wants to fight John Jones, but he wants to respect the fact that, obviously his brother just passed.
So, yeah, he's walking a fine line there, but the way he's going about it's perfect.
So it says no. No family member meeting?
No?
Or maybe someone close to him, he just.
Don't do, yeah, I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
What else you have on there?
This is pretty cool. Video Dariuship and Benoit Saint Denis is going to be added to the UFC 322. Oh, this is kind of crazy. So then May 5, right? That's his record, 0-5, and this is how he wins. He actually wins.
That black guy's 0-5? It's now in effect. Jesus. That was dope for him. That was dope.
That's the way to win your first 5 losses. 0-5. His name's Jen Kelly. And this is that chick from Have you seen her? She's like the reigning champ right now for BKFC.
Damn. That, oh my God. Don't walk into the power, girl. That girl's gonna be down for a while. Yeah, this thing's over.
1-0. 1-1. 1-2. 1-3.
I'm seeing this stuff. So this is more
No,
setting it.
5. 5-5. 5-6. 10-6. 10-7. 10-8. 11 and 8. 12 and 8. 13 and 8. 13 and 9.
Yeah, he's awesome. The more he comes out, the more people I like him. He's brilliant.
I'll just play this for you. This is Style Bender reacting to Alex winning. I love this. Holy shit. Look at it. It's on. I know it. I see the eyes. Look at the eyes. What are you doing? You have to go off with us. Yeah, he's on. Yep. Oh, yeah. That's a huge point. He made it. Finish it. Find the shot. Find shot. Yeah. Find the shot. It's over. It's over. Yeah, on top. That's it. It's over. Dog, he does filthy. Yeah. And then you got emotional when Alex he's so different. He just respects the game so much. He says they have a good relationship with him and Poton. Yeah, he's very chill. Is this his coach seeing it? I forgot if it was his coach or not. Yeah, it's a pro. Yeah. So it says UFC wants to open a new contract with Alien in January in Los Angeles for the first Paramount card. And his rival would be Justin Gaethje.
Not all the news is Justin Gaethje. I'm still here, Patty. From my inside sources, I hear it's Patty.
I hope it is fun. It might be too early for Patty, but it'd be more fun to watch. Yeah.
But maybe this is new. That coach is saying Justin, then that's what it is. But I still, from all my sources, I heard it's Patty.
Well, either way, good fights.
Yep.
And right after Alex, this is when Hamzat was calling out.
Hamzat, it'd be a nightmare of a matchup for Alex in the super fight. If you're gonna lose to a grappler, it has to be someone higher than you. Like you gotta shoot for the move. Like this ain't gonna do it. You gotta, if you're gonna lose, get submitted or pounded out, or you know, you gotta go for the Toms, the Johns. You gotta go for the big Toms and Johns.
Alright. Now, before I forget, have you ever had another fight where you felt asleep beforehand, or was it just the nod?
Roy Nelson didn't know gear I did. Lost ball. Yeah. It just shit happens. No need. It's like if it was just another night, man, I'd be ready to go. But
to be able to fall asleep is kind of, I would think it'd be the opposite.
It's your body's from all the anxiety and everything, and there's a calming that's finally there that you kind of relax and just, it's almost like you're over it mentally. Your body's like, dude, let's fucking go, but your body, you're mentally like, dude, I'm over it. It's not good.
No, it sounds scary, actually.
Yeah, it's very strange.
All right, I guess this is the last one. Unfortunately, Mr. Van Zandt, Austin Vanderford, he lost to his fight in the UFC by tapping, but then the gash on his forehead looks pretty damn crazy. As you can see right here. Oof. I feel like I can see the bone, too.
You can see some skull there.
Yeah.
Ed Gaines' mouth is watering in heaven right now.
To rip that open and
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. That's it for current events coming up this weekend, though.
You have UFC Brazil fight night, right? Oliveira, Gamrot short notice gets Oliveira. It's a tough one. Figueiredo, not a terrible card.
Yeah, let's find out, too. What time is it at? 6 p.m. our time standard, CST standard.
Yeah. Oliveira, Gamrot, Figueiredo, Joe Alves is probably the best fight. All right.
Pretty much it.
I think it's gonna knock your Brazilian dick in the dirt, but you know your boy will be watching. Is that it? That's it. All right, guys, that's it. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. If you want this ad-free, join the Patreon, patreon.com/TFATK. You get this ad-free, extended Fight of the Kids, bonus interviews on there, Q&As. Me and Chin are going to our favorite barbecue spots. All my car shit's on there. We got a ton of extra bonus footage for you. It's patreon.com/TFATK. Get you some ad-free going on right now. All right, kids, that's it. Be nice to each other. I'll see you around. Come say what's up. All right, I'm out.
This is the iHeartRadio Sports Report.
This week's NFL upsets continue. Right into Monday Night Football as the Jaguars top the Chiefs 31-28. Kansas City at 120 their straight leading Ravens crunching points. Chiefs took a 14-0 lead to start the game. Trevor Lawrence finished a crazy scramble for a touchdown with 23 seconds left. The Jaguars are now 4-1.
Questions that have not been answered, how people seem to have foreknowledge. There are these social media accounts that were posting about it. Questions about the release of footage pertain, like the footage that got released, we don't actually see the dude take the shot. And there's reasons why they wouldn't release that, but some people say just prove it. That, the palm gun theory, the exploding lob theory, whatever, man. Think whatever you want. Ask questions, it's fine. I'll get to put in someone who doesn't make sense because who's more pro-Israel than Charlie Kirk, and without Charlie, I am not confident turning point can persist. It's running because they're trying to fundraise, they're trying to convince the donor to do this without Charlie. But then what ends up happening is you get these kids killed for this reason. And all the theories where it's like the palm gun. When you see that one, the guy had like a palm gun. Or like the second, you just can't help themselves. People are sending me
videos all the time. I'm like, come on, guys. It's or all this rhetoric about fascism and this overblown catastrophizing of the threat that Donald Trump at all poses causes some emotionally unstable weirdos to take drastic action.
My thing when I saw that with Charlie is like he knows like there's a lot of bad people out there. Like why wasn't security more on top of it? Let's get into it. What frustrates me.
Yeah, this is tough.
Come on, big dog. Come on.
Their security got complacent. Their security got complacent.
Yeah.
They thought they were going in a fight terror. No, like I was asked not to talk about this because let me lead you down.
Let him do his thing.
So there's all these attacks and conspiracies about the security guards being in on it and doing great stuff. That is not true. These guys are devastated, embarrassed. But embarrassed is the last thing. They're of course,
As they should be.
Utah. Nobody thought this place was going to be a target. They do this all the time. They know there's a threat, but they're like, we know what we're doing. We'll be fine. And I remember one of the first things I heard after this happened. I had someone on my show, and they go, "This is a professional job. Like, no one can hit that range." And I was like, a 12-year-old could hit that range up to an hour.
Correct.
So, yeah, I'm like, 100 yards is not hard. 120 yards?
But that's what's alarming. Like your security, the roof. Clearly, the roof is the.
Well, my thing is
There's nothing.
So
I'll fly a drone and just with a camera and take a look at all the rooftops. The thing is that those guys were looking at the crowd. It's sometimes you just not.
let's hear Tim on this. The police and the campus police and security were handling everything else. And basically behind the scenes. Like this, the turning point,
the shooter, and you're like, yeah, what?
And then he was helping. He actually said he wanted to help the guy escape.
Yes, we got arrested for.
Want to have low morale. They don't want people. If morale down, donations could stop. Employees might. So, in all seriousness, the security had a security plan. It was a fairly common security plan, but I was talking to a dude on my show a couple weeks ago who was combat infantry in, I think, Iraq and Afghanistan, and he said, look, after a couple weeks, you stop paying attention around the corner, and then a bomb goes off. And so, I had a few people saying, like, just don't rag on the security guys. They've been through a lot, okay? Like, and then, listen, with all due respect, I'm not trying to be mean to them. When I talked to some of the other people in the know, they were complacent. They thought, we know there's a threat, but come on, like this stuff doesn't happen. We're not there yet. And then it happened, and it was.
I can understand that. I can understand that because he wasn't a political figure. He was just a guy who drew huge crowds. But I can understand why they didn't think a sniper. Like when you think that, you think political. And I'm just saying in your mind.
But it just happened months prior to the president of the United States.
That's different, though. He was the president.
Yeah, but we just saw that.
I know. You
can make a million excuses. I don't understand. I got paid to do a job. He's clearly ruffling some feathers. He's massive.
The same thing that happened with Charlie Kirk is the same thing that happened with Donald Trump, which is this. There's a delineation of authority. So your security detail is responsible for one influence, one sphere. Then you allow local law enforcement or SWAT to handle the other things like the roofs. So, and you have to do it that way because it's too large an area. So what happens is when there is a change in my shift, I'm going, and all we didn't take care of the roof, it's usually some shitty human error or a lack of communication or coordination that causes these breaches. And if you talk to people who have gone through this
including like operators and stuff like that. It's always astonishing how often that kind of stuff happens.
There's no such thing as security. It's the illusion of security. That's right. There's degrees of it, but if it's swept, everything was done. Someone's going to find a way. You can put as many as you want. The question is, how badly does someone want your money?
Yeah, man.
It's kind of the truth. He's the principal reason Gen Z has shifted rightward, which is a threat to those on the other side.
Because he was you guys and pit them against all comers. And the great thing about Charlie was that he was like, I will take on 3 PhDs, never been to college, whoever you want, but this is what I think is worth defending Western values. And it's what got us here. One of the things he kept saying was that when people stopped talking, I'm good friends with Stephen Crowder. And Crowder has been doing this shit forever. And I know, because I've had long talks with Stephen about purity. And I always thought Stephen was kind of a paranoid. And he ain't. And he was like this, he was doing this. He's been, I've seen all the stuff he's gone through. From his change my mind stuff. So he was worse. You do?
Oh yeah.
Because look at the reaction. Yeah, like I thought, I don't mean to interrupt you. I thought the reaction would be like, holy shit, it left, right, we got to take a step back. We're talking a human just died here. Father, this is not good.
There's an author I quote fairly often named Stephen Marsh. He's a Canadian guy. He wrote a book called, I think it's called The Next Civil War. I think it's called The Next Civil War. And another book called And he wrote this article shortly after the death of the American public's going to lay down there 10 times worse. And that's the equation, that's the historical equation. And you can look at every revolution, conflict. Example is the peace wall in Northern Ireland. Have you guys ever been? No. Fascinating. So Northern Ireland, of course, the peace wall was to separate the Catholics and the Protestants. On one side is pro-Israel, on the other side is pro-Palestine. Why? What does that have to do?
Because one side identifies with being oppressed.
Yep,
exactly. The other side identifies with being allied to a powerful,
Yep. It was the crown, the empire. The other side is we are occupied. And there's actually a group in Ireland, I guess, that calls themselves the Lost Tribe of Israel. Like it's tribal identity. It doesn't matter what is true. It matters. I get this reference, but CGP Grey made a video a decade ago or longer called "This Video Will Make You Mad." Groups are not debating each other or arguing with each other. They're arguing amongst themselves about why they hate the other group.
Yeah, because we've all siloed ourselves off into our own echo chamber. And you said something a long time ago on Rogan. You said we are going to create parallel economies and parallel worlds. And that will be sort of the velvet civil war. If I'm not allowed to bank because of my point of view, and it's changed now, thanks to Elon and stuff like that, but for the moment, to create 2 parallel economies, right?
Yeah, so we have the parallel economy now, and that is, we still largely have a singular economy. I can go to a woke bookstore and buy stuff, and my security is basically like, hey, I mean, let's be real, if you're going to go in there. Yeah. And so that's where we're headed. Game stores. Yeah. I was going to a Magic the Gathering. I was going to out with some friends in between, like we were going to DC for some stuff. Pulled up to a car shop parking lot. They've got all the big prides up in the window, and it says you can't go in there. Oh well.
Listen, as a former athlete, I've always looked for ways to get an edge the legal way, okay? Sometimes I went to the dark arts, but it's not legal, so you can't do it. But for every day, I'm looking for that huge advantage. If you train seriously, whether it's lifting, running, competing, or just staying dialed in, you probably already know what creatine can do.
Okay,
more power, better recovery, the ability to push through when most people are gassed. But listen, there's beam creatine. All creatine is not created equal. That's exactly why I switched to beam creatine. Start using their creatine. It's been a game changer. I need something clean, effective, easy to trust, and beam makes it so.
Creatine's is the most
brain,
studied,
son.
literally the most studied supplement, synthetic.
None of that stuff, and it's tasteless. So yeah, you mix it in your coffee if you're a psycho like me, your protein powder, whatever you want, right? So with beam protein, get the strength benefits, the endurance, the recovery, and I know somebody I can trust. 1 scoop a day, simple as that. I do 20 milligrams. I don't suggest starting there because you'll poop your pants. But you can start with just 1 scoop. If creatine's already in your world, but you're ready to upgrade to a cleaner, smarter version like I did, this is it. Right now, Beam, BEAM, is giving you up to 30% off for limited time. Just head to shopbeam.com/fighter. Use the code FIGHTER at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/fighter. Use the code FIGHTER. Get 30% off your first order.
I mean, look, it said, well, they said that to you.
Well, the general idea is maybe it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the thing about liberals is they tend not to know what's going on. They only know what they're told to know. So when I walk down the street, most people who recognize me like me. And just the other day, I went to a coffee shop that had pride flags everywhere, and it had Protect Trans Kids and all that stuff. They had no idea what it was. I'm literally wearing, I have another hat that says Timcast on it in big letters.
They don't listen. That's why, because they're listening to their own thing.
Yeah, here's a funny story for you. I was at Columbia University when Mike Cernovich was speaking back in, I think, 2018 or something. And I've got a GoPro and a gimbal. This was when I was doing more on-the-ground reporting. I walk into this cluster of 300 or 400 leftist college protesters saying Mike Cernovich is a white supremacist. Get him out of here. So I walk into the lobby of the auditorium where they're all protesting. Recognizes me. And he's the mic check thing. Mic check, everybody. Mic check. This man is Tim Pool. So he points at me. You know what I did? When the whole crowd turned toward my direction to look, so did I. I started going like this. And no one knows who I am. So they're all going looking, trying to figure out who it is. And then the guy goes, him, that guy. And I go. And so then, finally, some dude walks up to a random photographer who was there and starts screaming at him, saying, you're the problem, you're the liars, the propagandists. And I'm like, that old guy is not me. They don't know. They don't know. And so finally, the dude walks up to me and puts his finger, this is the guy. And it's on my YouTube channel somewhere, but so I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Now here's what gets started. This is I left ABC News. This is a joint venture. So I had an ABC News e-card, press card, and it's so that he can give. He's trying to kill us. And then I walked up to the lady, and I said, ma'am, honestly, I have no idea who this person is. I'm just a reporter. And she was like, you're fine, don't worry about it. But that lady didn't know who I was. That was 6, 7. So when I was on Joe's show with the Twitter execs, at the end of the show, I said something to the effect of, if you keep down this path, it's going to be civil war. The funny thing is, people have this view of society that it's their generation always. So an example would be, I worked at Vice. And when I was there, Shane Smith, the CEO, was like, we got to get TV. He was 45 at the time. This is 10 years ago. And I'm thinking to myself, what do we be on TV for? Nobody uses TV. Oh, well, to Gen X. This is what everyone's doing. So he's looking at his world, his business, his revenue streams, and everyone he knows, or his generation, are doing this thing. I, in the millennial generation and younger, was on Twitter and YouTube. And I said, I don't know anybody who watches TV anymore. I don't understand why they're going this direction. But of course, I was like, oh, I get it, right? Shane's an older guy, and he's looking at what his peers are looking at. So what happens in politics is people think that politics change, but they don't. People typically get their kids at a young age and keep them forever. Same with religion. It is a minority circumstance where someone will switch, convert, or otherwise, but it happens. So when I'm looking at colleges saying I will kill you, like these students are threatening to murder, they're literally beating the government. So I was in with journalists or fairly libertarianish. And when I said, look at the Battle of Berkeley, where the basis Antifa had, then some college professor Antifa guy took a bike lock and bashed people over the head. They were throwing explosives at elderly women. I said, we are on track for a civil war. I don't know if that means we're going to be in a civil war, but if this does not stop and continues in this direction, the equation is civil war. And these guys, they're like, oh, chill the fuck out, Tim. Like, the security state would never allow the country to fall apart. The military-industrial complex is not going to tolerate this. And I said, what happens when these people are the military-industrial complex? What do we have now? AOC went on the House floor within a week or two of Charlie Kirk being assassinated to condemn Charlie Kirk. She's so the thing I will say is that people like AOC are
like if you were to run right now, who would you guys have? And Chelsea goes, AOC? No, because she's been out there so much on Twitter, and she's a face, and they have their opinion. So there's not much they can do.
someone on Donnie, maybe.
Yeah, but again, we'll see how he does it with New York. But
Tim scares me.
Well, so the thing about AOC is women can't win, and I said that as offensively as possible. There are a lot of men in this country and women who will not vote for Obama.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women too, mostly women.
There's another thing too. I did nonprofit fundraising before I was doing all of this, and I was one of the nation's best for Greenpeace, the third groups. I worked for a company that fundraised for Save the Children, ACLU, etc., Greenpeace. And there are two characteristics, one for each gender, that determines whether or not they will be good fundraisers. What characteristic do you think guarantees a successful fundraiser?
I would imagine it would be something
This
like
is in person?
I would something like boldness, forcefulness, confidence.
Tall. Bingo. Tall guys, no matter how dumb, raised money. Wow. We had it's hands down.
That's great. Coming from a tall guy too.
On the alley-oop.
So you're not wrong about confidence.
Yeah.
So now, before I explain, there was one trait that determined whether they'd be good fundraisers, which was boom. That man, he knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, we are just still.
You're in the politics, right?
We're such a.
Yeah.
So
Because if a warlock sent me for money, I'm like, nah, I'm like, well, I'm sure I got some.
That's we have. It's
It's just how it got
80% of the people that signed up to these nonprofits for me were women. Yeah. And they were typically like mid-20s. So I'm like early 20s, mid-20s doing this job. And it's those guys you see in the street like, hey, you got a minute to talk about the environment? I was never stupid enough to say that. That doesn't work. So for a woman, you want to get her to stop and talk to you? You say something like, oh, man, your hair looks great. Where do you get it done? Or you didn't wake up like that, did you? And they're like, oh, chill out. What are you doing?
shake hand.
You just reach your hand out to him, and the guy will immediately shake your hand, and now he can't leave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I knew a ton of guys who were dumb as a box of rocks.
And they talk like this.
we're going to protect the environment because like they in a suit and they go, hi, smile and wink, and then he walks over and he's like, hey, and then she's like, and shakes his hand, and the guy is just like, oh, I'm so excited. Shallow as a pump. There was any guy could figure out how to do it. I knew this guy. He was like 5'4", chubby, and he was super good. Game. Yeah, but you gotta have game. This is where he had game. Yeah. He sounded like Joe Pesci, like a little mobster. Yeah. Oh wow. And he wouldn't let you say, no matter what you said, he had an answer. Yeah. So you couldn't even like listen. I'm not interested. He'd be like, don't even say you're not interested. I'm gonna tell you this. Look, flipping the pages, and then he'd put the pen in their hand, put their hand in the thing, and be like, you're out of here, bing bang boom, saving the country, anything. And I was impressed. I was like, wow, that's good, dude. I'd be like, all right. Yeah. When did you have your when did you have your political conversion? When did you solidify your political philosophy? Oh, I don't know if it's ever solidified, but I've been political since I was a little kid. Yeah, I've been into it. I had the internet since existence. My mom, my uncle's a bigger guy, so my mom ends up with an old DOS shell computer in the 80s, and so I was born in 86. My mom had CompuServe on DOS, like the internet before there was any meaningful internet. I remember when we got DOS shell, and you could actually press down and highlight files. You had to type like dir/w/o/p for your directory searches. And then we got Windows 3.1. Windows 95 was like crazy. My friends in school were like showing me the disk, and we were like, whoa. So you were a computer nerd. Dad, AOL was a very limited space, mostly used by tech guys, largely male tech, and so chat rooms were fairly, not always, but fairly honorable for the most part, especially because AOL like curated moderated to a certain degree. So when I would go on AOL, some Apogee DOS games, Doom, Wolfenstein, but the chat rooms would be general conversations that weren't explicit, weren't not creepy. Yeah. And then when I think I must have been like, I went on Newgrounds.com, which was Flash animation, and it was YouTube before YouTube. And then Fark, my favorite website, which was basically a single Reddit page. And you go to fark.com, and it's got all these articles I just read. When you get your news, because it's so easy to be, I don't even know it's AI anymore, like bots and everything else. Where do you get your news? Where do you get your yeah, broad. That society is frozen in time. They I guess humans in the 2000s, some studies were done. They found that for like 2007, the birth derivative was 2.01, and the birth rate among liberals was 1. It's been a while.
Look at this athleticism.
West 64 Phillips Ranch Road. Small, big, on that big red district on the right. West 61st, you have place 15 again on West. Southern California is after a traffic report. The free iHeartRadio app does that.
You already have it. Free iHeartRadio.
Number one app for radio. Back to the moment. Talk secret.
A lot of girls knew about it. A lot of girls were doing it.
Around the country, look at Jeffrey Epstein, others who suffered fighting to recover they lies. Jeffrey Epstein. Listen to this podcast for free on iHeartRadio. Number one for action radio and podcasts all in one. iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network. We all love a good joke. The elaborate schemes, the close calls, when it all goes wrong.
Oh my God, the twists and turns.
And when things finally take into place.
Thank God we live to tell the tale.
I'm about to go to Castro, and I'm lucky enough to do stuff like Broad City, Narcos, and Roadhouse, and so many commercials about that game. And now I'm starting a podcast because honestly, guys, I don't think the space is crowded enough. Look, get ready for Greatest Escapes, a comedy podcast about the wildest true escape stories in history. Each week, I'll be sitting down with some of the most hilarious actors and writers and comedians, people like Ed Helms, Clyde Up, just like and Joseph Miguel. Together, we're going to puzzle our way through the most wild true escape stories of all time. Maybe write a musical.
I would hide under the desk.
Tie a rope around the fuselage neck and use it to like water ski across the road. So we'd love for you to hang with us for some of the greatest escapes in history. Coming up today, the World Show. We're going to have communist sushi group case for governor signed 79 that allows developers to build apartment